This is a very cool cucumber you're interviewing. He is pausing before every answer. He's thinking it through.
It's the innocent ones who are nervous and jittery.
A game of verbal cat and mouse.
Okay. Dude, you're not this guy. You know you're not this guy.
Obviously not this guy.
Has investigators flustered.
Did I promise you or threaten you in any way?
But can they get a confession without crossing the line?
And they're walking right to the edge of the legal statements you can make. Throwing a number out, getting close to the edge, in my opinion.
It's all relative through a one-way mirror.
I think either way you're not going to believe me, so we should probably just go book me into the jail.
I'll believe you if you tell me the truth.
What's the truth? What you want to hear?
There's no way.
Just like Mom, Cody, and Dad loved you. Nobody loved you anymore or any less.
I'm telling you right now, I do not think you're a murderer.
I helped her get her witnesses in her door.
I don't think that you're a bad person, and something got out of control, and we need to know where she's at.
All I want from you is a reason.
When 19-year-old Raul Cuadros is shot dead in a drug deal gone wrong, a host of suspects are arrested. Armed with several sources, interrogators lean on career criminal David Randall Wright.
So I'm going to record our conversation. It just makes it easier for me to go back. There's no question as to why you're here at this point, right? I mean, it's been in the media, and we've had 4 people arrested already, so I don't have any big secrets to hold from me at this point, right?
I was just told when they arrested me that I was being arrested for murder.
So, David, do you understand that you have the right to remain silent? That any statement you make can and will be used as evidence against you in a court of law? So, like I said, I mean, it's already been in the media. 4 people have been arrested. It's not like we don't know what happened to some extent, you know. We're a few days into this, so a lot of investigation has gone into this thus far. But there's always more that we don't know from every single party, right? Everybody has a little piece of the puzzle. We don't necessarily get the truth from everybody. So I would like to hear from you what happened.
I have no clue because I'm just now hearing about this. So.
I mean, the whole, I don't know what you're talking about, is kind of out the door at this point. I got several people who have already identified you. You're identified on video. So you're just going to play that you have no idea what happened because you weren't there.
I was not, no.
He's been through this rodeo a few times. He's letting her have to lead him down to more evidence. Smart move.
Yes.
He's been through. I noticed that Miranda was very short on this one. Just, you have the right to call a lawyer. There was no detail, no signing of paper. That's a weak Miranda, but it works.
So this happened Saturday to Sunday. Where were you on Saturday and Sunday?
Either at home.
Well, I'm sorry, where is home?
I've been staying with a friend of mine over off of 2nd Ave.
So you're saying that you were just home the entire weekend?
I've been home most of the weekend because I've been trying to stay clean for DOC.
Did anybody else have your phone this weekend?
I left it in one person's car, and it took me a day and a half to get it back.
When was that?
That was earlier in the week. And then I let somebody use my phone. They were supposed to just go to 7-Eleven to go meet somebody that was selling something to an offer up. And they had apparently 7 or 8 things that they had to do between then and when they got back to the house.
And who was that?
That was a guy that goes by Memphis. I don't really pay attention to the days unless it's the day I have to go check into DOC, or like today where I have an appointment that I'm supposed to be at 1 o'clock.
It was like 2 days ago. It's 2 days ago.
Like I said, I don't really pay attention to the days.
I think he's just buying time. He knows if they get the phone, they got the people who use the phone, they asked already for one name, and they'll be having someone immediately go and verify if that was true. And if they say, no, we didn't borrow his phone, or no, I didn't take his phone in the car for a drive, it'll all be on the cell-to-cell tracking on that phone. Whether they have it or not yet, I don't know.
And he's cast doubt, though, on whether he was in possession of the phone.
He's made a very good story.
Yes, he has.
But it's a provable story.
seen your communications with people about it. I mean, there's no question, man. So for you to sit here and tell me that you weren't there is kind of ridiculous at this point. It's not helpful to you, really, to just be quiet and not say anything. Because what I have are people who are looking out for themselves. They're not looking out for you. They're looking out for number one because they don't want to catch charge. So they're going to dime you off.
Even though I consider criminals to be overall dumb, after many times in the system, they do learn.
I mean, this is a career criminal, and career criminals know the justice system better than almost anyone. So he knows that if he stays quiet, if he doesn't say anything, they have nothing to go off of. It's probably going to end in a short interrogation. They're going to have to throw everything at him to see what sticks. And at this point, we've seen the officer approach him and say, look, we already know that what you're saying is not true. It serves you, it's in your best interest to come forward and just give us some information here. Otherwise, we're just gonna be sitting here, you're gonna keep saying no, and we're gonna have to keep pressing you on this. But this is somebody who has been through this before. He's made a lot of mistakes, I'm sure, as far as the interrogation in the past. He's someone that's learned from those mistakes and knows. If you have a new police officer that came in to interrogate him, who has more experience in the room? The career criminal.
Yes.
Right?
She's using a very standard, the other people are talking, they're blaming you. Anyone that's been in the system as much as him is not going to fall for that.
No.
They're just going to say, okay, go ahead, show me what you got. But for someone who's been arrested the first time or a rookie in the criminal justice system, oh, they're dumping on me, I'm going to dump on them. That's a standard move at this point in an investigation. He isn't even flinching.
I have no idea what approach they're going to go with at this point. Doesn't seem like he's going to be biting. So it might be that they have to provide, police have to provide a little more context, a little more information that triggers something, that hits a nerve, so that he's going to provide more information. We might also see the second interrogator come into play a bit sooner than we normally would.
I predict this is going to be a tough one.
I've been out of jail for all of a week and a half. I've spent almost every minute of it with my girlfriend. As for, did I plan to kill anybody? Did I kill anybody? No, I didn't.
So when I look at the GPS on your phone, it's not going to tell me that, it's going to tell me that you were with your girlfriend the whole time, that you never were over at Jack in the Box.
It should.
And the only reason you might tell me that is because maybe you didn't take your phone.
She just brought up the phone, and he said, shouldn't show anything. Shouldn't. That could mean two things. One, he left it at home, or he's now thinking, oh boy, they had the phone, they got the phone. So she's working him her way, and I think she's being properly forceful with a career criminal. You don't pussyfoot with these guys. You go at them hard, and you try to force them into a confession or a point of saying something.
The career criminal and the police officer are two sides of the same coin. They both know the system. They both work in the system, so to speak, right? So when she says, look, man, she's using that language, right? She's speaking to him like, okay, look, we've both been in this room quite a lot.
Yeah.
You know the system, I know the system. We both know how this is going to shake out. The difference is that I'm in control of the situation, and I'm the one who has the power here, effectively, over his future and over what happens. That's the approach she's taking. I think that's actually a smart approach in this case, given that they are, like I said, two sides of the same coin.
But the onus is on her. And he didn't feel, because he's so cool, he didn't feel the need to scramble around about the phone, even though he might know that she has something on it. He just says, well, no. And then she's the one that supplies the rationalization of, well, maybe you left it at home. So we're seeing an indication here that the more information he provides, the more it can be used against him, that his best interests are to just deny everything. And in some ways, she is giving him an explanation of why it might not be on his phone. I think this will encourage him to maintain this approach of, I'm innocent and all the obligation is on you to prove that I'm not.
It's going to take an awful lot to get him to give her anything. She's going to have to do all the giving, and then he decides, is this worth me saying something or not? He's being very coy because he knows exactly how this works. And she's trying to push to break something through his demeanor that gives something back to her. And she knows she's up against a hard one. There's no doubt about it. Now, I think she's playing, okay, we're both equal here. I'm a tough cop, you're a tough guy. Let's go. Who wins this fight?
Investigators appear to have hit a brick wall with uncooperative suspect David Randall Wright. The team of experts are at odds as to whether the chosen techniques will work to get a confession.
Roll tape.
So, you're sitting there for a murder one charge. I would expect you to kind of rack your brain a little bit more if you didn't do the crime to help me rule you out as the suspect. Were you in any stores or any locations that I can put you on video somewhere?
Not if I've been home.
I agree. I'm just asking you. Like, if there's something that I could use to rule you out, I'm more than happy to. The last thing I want to do is put an innocent person in jail and potentially prison for 20 years off a crime they didn't do. That's not my style. At this point, you're literally the last person we've talked to. And the only person that has an allegiance to you is Chris. So, I mean, obviously people are not going to be shy about telling us who was there and who did what. There's video at the Chevron. There's video at the Shell. You know that we have all your co-suspects under arrest. Like, all I want from you is a reason. I understand what happened, I just need to know why.
The only person I know you have under arrest is Chris.
Okay, we have Cody under arrest, and we have Tannehill, what's his name, Ray?
Right.
They are all under arrest. You were the last. Chris is under arrest because we viewed messages on the phones that organized picking you up. Those same messages from you to Cody. We have them on their phone. We've already viewed them. We have the Facebook communications between Chris and Brianna setting up the deal that happened where you guys showed
Stop the tape. Even though this guy is very experienced and extremely well-versed in criminal law, he was motionless in that chair for the first part of the interview. Now that they're presenting him with this, all of this, he's starting to wiggle. He's nervous. He's going back and forth. So the one thing about criminals you can count on 100% is they're like rats jumping off a sinking ship. They will abandon each other quicker than anything when they get in a spot like this. Obviously, his friends have all abandoned him. Now, he's the last guy standing.
No honor amongst thieves.
There is none, zero. No, nothing amongst thieves, in my opinion.
They're talking similarly to how he's talking. And allegiance, loyalty, that's something that's really important to him at this point so far. So we'll see what happens at this point. The officers are making it very clear he's isolated. He's by himself. He has nothing else that he can do at this point.
This is, at this point, about do I let everybody take the rap or do I take it solely? This is what they're trying to get to. Are you going to man up and say, yes, I planned this, I pulled the trigger, or were we all in it together and we're all going to go down together? That's about where it is right now. This is his decision alone to make at this point.
So it's a us against them dilemma for him. It should be very interesting to see what he does here. Even though he's a career criminal, he's not a very good one since he's been in jail a lot.
Roll tape.
Or maybe somebody else had my phone.
I'm just being straight with you because this is how this plays out. Your girlfriend's going to be dumb enough to provide you an alibi on a murder charge. And then she's going to get roped up in a murder as an accessory. If you care about that person, you have just set her up for failure. This isn't a, we're going to trick you into saying something. This is a, explain what happened because it matters for you later. And if you want your girlfriend jammed up because you just set her up for it, then that's your choice.
You know, you can't threaten me with jamming her up.
So that's not a threat. I'm telling you what's going to happen because I have to continue the investigation because you've now provided an alibi that I got to walk down. Because you're involving her. You're being dumb by doing that, and I'm trying to be upfront with you about it because I'm not trying to be a dick to you.
I don't know where you guys think you get your information from, but I wasn't there.
Then tell me where you were.
I was either at home or I was at Greg's.
Okay.
It's one of the two
with
places.
With your girlfriend the entire time, right?
90% of the time, 95% of the time, she's right with me.
Okay. When would you not have been with her?
If I went over to my friend Leah's house at all. She doesn't go to Leah's because her and Leah don't get along.
Okay, well, when did that happen, if that did happen?
I've been there twice since I've been out of jail.
Okay, so you've been out a week and a half. Like, dude, I get it. Like, you had a quick come up, right? I get it. I don't think you were a stone cold killer. I don't. That's not you. Like, I mean, I don't know if you remember me at all. I have a face that's pretty hard to forget, but I chased you around North Everett when you were Harry Potter, right? Remember that? Well, you've had a lot of contact with officers back when you were a kid and toting knives and just doing dumb kid stuff, right? So I don't believe you're that guy. Like, I think this was a mistake. If you accidentally shot the dude because you flinched or you got scared because of something he did, now is the time. If you come up with that stuff later, nobody is going to believe a word you say.
How the fuck would somebody accidentally shoot somebody?
Because if your finger's on the trigger, it's called a sympathetic reflex. It happens to police officers all the time.
I think that's a term that's been come up with just to cover their asses for shooting people.
Well, you can try to make it about that. I'm talking about you.
I wouldn't know. Never shot anybody.
Before.
Never have. Never even shot an animal.
I think he's a cool customer. I think he's a person that probably does not experience guilt or shame. I don't think it's going to work for him. It's almost like a tennis match. They serve up something and he returns it and looks stronger each time he does. So I think the relationship is evolving, but he's really holding his own in terms of the approach that's being taken for him.
I think it was smart to bring on the officer that has some sort of connection to his past, connection to him when he was a child. Maybe they're hoping that that's going to elicit some sort of emotional response. At this point, it doesn't seem like that even was on his radar, so that didn't elicit an emotional response. So it's probably very disheartening for the police officer to see that. Not that he wasn't remembered, but just that it had absolutely no impact from what we've seen so far.
He believes his girlfriend won't do him in. He believes that his friends are being bluffed a bit here by the police. They're using them as a bluff mechanism. So I think he's still waiting till they drop the hammer on him. He's not giving them anything and is not going to give them anything until it's so obvious that he can't get out of it.
Well, he's counterattacking.
Yeah.
When he said the sympathetic response of police officers, his response was, oh, that's just to explain why they shoot people. Mm-hmm. So he's giving as good as he gets at the moment.
I'll just be upfront with you. We got Cody's phone. The one that shows your phone number and your address and the communications between you two. Like, I have it.
Just because I met up with somebody doesn't mean that I went with them to go do something.
Okay. So, when did you meet up with Cody?
1, 2 o'clock in the morning, something like that.
On what day?
It was Saturday or Sunday.
Okay. Where did you meet up with him?
Over by my house.
Okay. And who was with him?
That I don't know.
Was he alone?
When I met up with him, yes.
So why did you meet up with the dude that you didn't know?
Because my friend Chris had asked me to.
Okay. And so what happened after that?
Well, he had tried to proposition me for a handgun.
Mm-hmm.
I told him I didn't have one.
Okay.
So.
Did he say why?
No.
Basically giving a story about where he was and what he did, admitting that, yes, I used to sell guns in a roundabout way, but I don't have any. So he hasn't committed a crime. He's done nothing up to this point, but he's admitting that he did have contact with people who were bothering him about this. He's trying to just lead them down off a different trail. Get away from talking about this shooting. Let's get into who visited me, who I was with, and he's still not buying the cell phone story.
David is still refusing to admit that he had anything to do with the murder or that he was even there. Instead, he admits to trafficking guns in an attempt to steer the interrogators away from the murder.
So I'll just be upfront with you, man. I'm not interested in any other crazy charges, anything like that. It doesn't matter at this point, right? You understand? So I'm interested in solving a murder that happened, if that's what it was.
Well, you got somebody that's dead.
Doesn't mean it's a murder. There's all kinds of different homicides and levels, and some are justified, some are not.
I have no specifics or anything like that.
Okay, so where did you meet up with the dude, Cody?
Over by my house.
Yeah, but what does that mean? There's a lot of stuff over by your house. Like, at your house?
Like, on the corner of the side street, because I don't bring people to my house.
Okay. And then, so he asked to buy a gun. I don't want to put words in your mouth. Explain the conversation to me and how it ended, if it did end.
Well, he wanted to buy a handgun, and he said that, so I was going to sell him a shotgun.
Right.
That was unacceptable for his ride, because I guess his ride didn't want to be riding around with a shotgun in the car. Understandable.
Okay. And then, so he still came and met you, even though you told him? Yeah.
Well, he came to meet me before I had even told him that I couldn't find another handgun.
Okay.
And I told him I would make some calls and see if I could rustle one up for him. By the time he made it there, I hadn't found one.
You said another handgun. Why did you say it that way?
Because I had recently sold one to somebody else that he knows.
Okay.
I think we're starting to see a little bit of trust here. He's letting him know, yes, I've been selling handguns. I think he believes that the officer genuinely doesn't care as much about those other things that are going on. He really just wants to solve this homicide and understand what's going on here.
If he thinks he can get away with his bond between this guy that chased him around for years by saying, yeah, I'm still in the game, I still sell guns, I'm a bad guy, but I didn't kill anybody. And if they believe him, they'll send him back to cell or send him on his way. He's hoping that happens, but they got something up their sleeve they haven't given him yet.
He's trying to distract them. They didn't jump on the, oh, you're still selling guns. I mean, they're really focused on this.
Hoping he keeps going and
Yes.
says something else.
Yes.
Notice he stopped swiveling in the chair now that the heat is off. He's back to being calm and thinking, I'm gonna, tell them about what I do and see if they'll believe that I just sell guns out of my house and don't have anything else to do with this drug business. You do forgive the lesser crime in order to get him to confess to the bigger.
So you guys meet up, you have this conversation, then what happens?
He leaves.
And how did he leave?
Well, I walked back to my house, and he walked back to whatever vehicle he was in.
Okay. Why did you leave that out when we first started talking? You think that might be important that the guy under arrest for murder came to your house looking for a gun?
Well, if I had given him a gun, then I think that would be important.
Well, it shows his intent. I mean, of course it's relevant to the case, right?
People buy guns for all sorts of reasons, man.
Yeah, but in this instance, there was a murder. The guy that had just come to your house. I just asked you about. I'm asking you why you left that out.
And you didn't tell me until recently that he was the one arrested for murder.
That's not true. You said, we can rewind 30 minutes into this conversation, if you'd like, where I named everybody off prior to that. So
You just recently in this conversation let me know that Cody was one of the ones involved. Being as I'm a convicted felon and I'm trafficking firearms, that might be something I would like to hide.
Granted.
No matter what somebody's using them for.
Okay. So they went on their way, just the Cody dude, and did you actually talk to the other guy in the car? How does he know who you are then?
Maybe my name was mentioned when they were coming to meet me.
But he didn't see you.
Unless he seen me when he was parked.
You didn't see the car.
I didn't look for the car. Unless I'm coming to meet somebody at their vehicle, I don't ask what vehicle they're in.
And again, don't take this the wrong way. I'm not trying to insult you, but that's not very smart. You're meeting somebody to sell guns, and you're not going to watch around you to see where they come and go? Like, you are smarter than that. That's why I'm saying that's not very smart.
It was referred to me by somebody that I trust.
Okay.
The investigator is trying to lure him into defending himself. He's trying to lure him into trying to rebut what he's saying. And he's not biting. He's just sticking to his story. He's not being influenced by threat. And he lets the officer know that, no, I don't even bother looking to see what car he came from. I'm not interested in doing that. I will answer your question, and that's all the information you're going to get from me. So I think he's, again, holding his own in this interrogation.
They do understand each other quite well, and they're volleying back and forth, like you said, kind of like a tennis match, right? They're hitting things back at each other through questioning, through asking about the decisions that you've made. It's interesting to see them both kind of duking it out in a way that is borderline respectful. Like it's actually, it's not out of hand.
It has to be perceived that way as well, but especially by the criminal. He has to feel he's respected and at a level where I can communicate equally with these fellows. If you constantly put him down, he's just going to draw back. So they're actually trying to build a rapport through this, and the female detective is sitting back observing. She's watching this guy like a hawk and going, I can't wait to maybe jump in. She's going to step in at some point when the timing is right and when she feels she has a good analysis of what's going to push his buttons.
What you say matters, and it matters now. It doesn't matter like in the next year. It probably doesn't matter in the next 5 years. But you know when it matters? In the next 10 to 20 years. That's when it matters. You know the charge of what murder 1 carries, I'm assuming. You can estimate that murder 2, manslaughter 1, manslaughter 2, those carry significantly less time. It does matter. So all of that stuff matters, and pretty much matters what you say.
I still say I don't know what you're talking about.
Fair enough, man. Do you have remorse?
If I killed somebody, I probably would.
I find here that is skating on the edge of Miranda. It is. He worded it very carefully, and I was listening to everything he said, but he threatened him with murder. Not threatened, he said, do you know what murder 1 carries? And he named the subsequent sentences below that. Subsequently less time. The promise of favor for confession is one way to get a case thrown out. He didn't promise him anything, but I was on the edge of my seat going, boy, one more slip of the tongue here, one little word of this is what we'll get you, and the case is out the door. So this, very well done, very well played by the officer. He skated to the fringe of making a very bad statement.
David Randall Wright is sticking to his guns and is not admitting to any involvement in the murder of Raul. The officers interrogating begin to turn up the heat and balance on the edge of what they can and can't say.
Got nothing? That's it?
Well, apparently every time I say something, you think I'm lying, so why say anything at all?
Well, look, man, you can pretend you're upset, but you're not. I mean, I proved that you're lying.
Not upset. I'm just, logically, if you're gonna fucking call me a liar, there's no point in me saying anything.
I don't think I ever called you a liar. I said that I'm asking you to come clean about not being at home with your girlfriend Saturday night. Because you obviously had your phone Saturday night, right? Because you met up with Cody. You communicated with him via phone. So that ain't the night you didn't have your phone. Respectfully, there are not a lot of dudes out there wearing glasses that do crime. It's pretty rare, like for me to have two in one case.
He's staring at him right now going, I wonder if I should say something. I think I'm done, but I'd not. He's not going to bend, I don't.
Well, there's this veiled threat. If you're going to call me a liar, I won't say anymore.
Yeah.
And then the interrogator goes, well, actually, I didn't call you a liar.
Yeah.
They're duking it out over, is this going to happen on whose terms, right? Is this going to happen on my terms, like the officer's been saying all along it can happen like that, or is it going to be on the officer's terms? So he's weighing his options, which are very slim at this point.
Negotiating the finer details of my surrender.
Let's see how this plays out.
So you clearly have a genuine distrust of the police. Is that fair to say?
I distrust almost everybody.
Detective Brenneman has pretty much laid out his cards. I mean, at this point, there's no tricks. Nobody's trying to pull the wool over your face there.
Whatever you have, you've got from people that may not necessarily be giving you information for the best of reasons. So
Take the people out of this. Take them out. Who cares about the people? We've got other stuff. Communications and all those types of things. The video. So it's not just that people are telling us this. We're not relying 100% on people. If we did that, we'd be stupid, right? I like to think I'm not that dumb. So it's not just that we're relying on dopers to give us information about homicide.
well, I think either way you're not going to believe me, so we should probably just go book me into the jail.
I'll believe you if you tell me the truth.
What's the truth? What you want to hear?
I haven't presented you with any versions of what happened. I don't want to hear anything. I just want the truth. I honestly, I know that this is like a TV show. This is real life, man. This is your life. It's not TV. Like, I don't get a promotion if you get charged with murder 1. Nothing happens. I just move on to the next case.
Just a different tactics. She's trying to rationalize with him as to why he should say something. You have nothing to gain here by being quiet. We have witnesses, we have all this technology, we have everything. They need him to say, yeah, I did it, and this is where I hid the gun. That solidifies it. There's only 2 people or 3 people know where that gun is, him and his girlfriend, or both of them. I love the comparison of this isn't television, it's real life.
But it is.
Now it is.
People don't know what goes on in these rooms.
No.
They think real life is what they see in a 30-minute clip or an hour clip on some trumped-up supposed TV show. This is real life. This is how it is. This is the tricks and the difficulties of law enforcement. It's not glamorous. It's not glitzy. There's no conclusion all the time after an hour. But I guarantee you, it is interesting when you study all these factors, and it shows the detail and the intricacies of law enforcement and justice, and it shows the criminal mind and how hard it is to deal with sometimes.
But he values his freedom. He values his ability to continue doing the things that he's doing, right?
And he's holding, I think, the line, somebody can put me away, I'm not putting myself away.
Exactly.
I think he's staying in that mode.
So there's maybe something there as far as what next button to push.
Yeah.
I'm giving you the opportunity up front. I've thrown you a bone or 2 to explain to you where you're at. Like, none of that had to happen. This isn't me coming at you and calling you a liar and all that stuff. This is me, like, trying to be straight with you that you're making really bad decisions right now based on your past, but this isn't like your past. This isn't a property crime. This isn't a stolen car or a dope charge. It's totally different. What we do is totally different. You have that option. Like, I'm just trying to give it to you. Dude, you're not this guy. You know you're not this guy. If you were, this conversation would be different.
Yeah, I'm obviously not this guy.
I meant the
I'm not.
dick that is letting everybody else go down for him. I meant that type of guy. That's not you. You have a reputation as being a stand-up dude.
I think that whatever those guys did that leads to you believing that they were accomplices and accessories and everything like that,
Yeah.
would be their own fucking fault if they fucking hang for it.
Really? Even though, hypothetically, you're the person who pulled the trigger? So even though somebody else pulls the trigger, you're good with those guys going down. Your homie Chris, you're good with him going down. I get it, you don't have any allegiance to these other 2 dudes. I understand that. But you're good with Chris going down, getting 20 years off of what you did, as an estimate, I'm guessing. I don't know what murder 1's I don't know his points. But it's a lot.
They're still trying to get him to grow a conscience.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to work. They seem to be increasingly more desperate. They're hitting him with the same stick over and over again, but it doesn't seem to be working for him.
Yeah, playing on allegiance, alliance, loyalty.
That's right.
What kind of ethos do you have?
Yeah.
It's playing the opposite of what normally happens. When you say what should they get or what he hopes they get hung for what they did, even though he's the guy that did it. He usually would play it down, oh, they should get 10, 15 years. But these guys are throwing him a bone, again, dangerously close to making a promise. They basically say, you know, say what you want to say and you're going to get less than 20 years or whatever. Again, it's skating the line, but they're trying everything. They're walking right to the edge of the legal statements you can make with a person accused of murder on what sentence they're going to have. You aren't allowed to discuss the sentence. You can hint at it. Throwing a number out, close to the edge, in my opinion.
David Randall Wright has stuck to his story of not being involved in the crime despite all of the evidence against him and the officer's pleas to his conscience. Yet, he still has one more curveball to throw at the officers.
Signature there. That just was that you waived your rights in the beginning because you did. I just forgot to have you do it.
See, I can't do that because I'm not the only person that spoke on that tape, so...
Okay, so it says, I, David Wright, declare that the facts stated on this tape are true and correct to the best of my knowledge. I'm going to write
Did I promise you or threaten you in any way?
Oh, you made plenty of threats, but...
I did?
Yeah.
I don't believe I did, but
Not to harm my person or anything like that, but you've made threats.
I don't feel like I did. But did the way I spoke to you adjust the way you talked to me in any way, and mean that what you said was not accurate or true?
No, but you seem to think that it is, which
Fair
is why
enough.
this conversation is definitely over.
Fair enough. But as far as the perjury statement goes, what you said is true and correct. Did I promise you anything at any time? Are you thinking, or?
If you wish to speak to me again, you should do so with an attorney present.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I'm gonna write in refused. So questioning and statement ended at 13:26 hours.
I thought the detective was extremely defensive. Did I threaten you? Did I make any promise? Like, he's trying to get him to say he didn't. I think there's a concern that they went over the edge a couple times, maybe. I think he's kind of aware of that. He won't sign the Miranda declaration on the tape because the questions on the tape are obviously going to be evidence against him, so he's not going to sign it. So I think they're a little shocked that he won't sign that. I think it's a smart move by him not to sign it, because I was concerned through there that there was some issues with what was said. I don't think it violated Miranda, although I'm not a lawyer, but I know the throwing out of numbers and promissory things about cutting your sentence and things like that are not accepted by the courts very well, certain courts anyway. And so it was interesting that he wouldn't sign, and how that detective come right back to defend what he did. Interesting.
Yeah, I think we have two wordsmiths that are duking it out at this point, both who know the law quite well. Both are defending themselves in the best way they know how.
And I think even at the end, the officer was expecting him to cooperate. He hasn't cooperated with anything. And he did seem a little bit worried that he might have stepped over the line. And so...
But I think they had enough on him, probably through the video and through the witnesses, if they are witnesses and not co-accused. I'll go back and say co-accused do not make good witnesses because they don't have to testify. So if they had a witness, and they have cooperation through video surveillance that shows him, and they obviously had cell phone tracking, I think they had enough, and maybe that's why they didn't use the techniques we like to see on the push. They just sort of let him go to the end of his stint, and okay, deny, and maybe they're true. We're going to take this to court, and the judge is not going to look favorably on you because of what you have done. Again, we'll see what happens in the court and the sentencing, but I found it very interesting how strong this individual was.
It seemed like the officers, especially the male officer, got ego involved and competitive with this individual, and that's why this dragged on for so long.
Yeah.
And he was running out of ammunition in terms of what approach to take to have this guy relax, loosen up, and incriminate himself.
In the stage 2 of the interview, like you're supposed to have a plan going in to an interview. In the peace models planning, you plan with the other officer, you plan with the people outside the glass to say, this is what we're going to do. We stop it, we start it, we come back out, we evaluate, we go in and try to get a conclusion. All these things are done in the soft model. This was a pretty soft model. It didn't use the 9 steps of the Reed technique, which is a good cop, bad cop, with throwing out all sorts of lies and things like that throughout the interview that you are doing on purpose. They were very stable in this interview, and I would almost say there was no technique to this interview. I don't want to be critical of them. They tried, but there was no obvious stages that they implemented. They tried a couple things, but maybe because it was him not letting them move the stages that they couldn't move them. But it must have been very frustrating for them in that particular type of interview. They tried a few little, you're my buddy, I know you when you're a kid, that type of big brother type of thing.
You've been getting away with stuff under my care for years, and now you're getting away with this.
I've been watching you for years type of approach.
And haven't been able to
work.
stop you. Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
In a dramatic turn from his initial interrogation, he confesses to the murder of Raul Cuadros. A drug deal was set up, and both parties unknowingly had intended on robbing one another. After a short altercation, David Wright shoots and kills Raul Cuadros. David Randall Wright was sentenced to 40 years in prison.
I believe what happened was that when he got out of this interview stage and went back to his holding cell or whatever, he would have got a lawyer, and the lawyer would have showed him, because there's disclosure now. So they would have disclosed the driver's statement, his co-accused statements, all of the evidence they had, and he probably realized after that, I might as well confess to what I did. There's no way out of this. It's going to look worse for me if I don't say something. So he ended up getting the worst sentence of all of them because he was the one that intended to kill.
The officers and us, we were a little dismissive at first when he quickly said to them, no, like, I don't care what they said, that's just hearsay, right? But what we didn't really think about is just how much what they would say possibly impacted him in the long run.
Very unique case, though. Extremely unique.
I think the interview was an interesting example that the good guys don't always win, that the techniques that they were using were not working, yet they didn't change tactics.
Yeah.
I think that it sounds like they got ego involved and competitive with him, and he gave more than he got.
I think what's important here is knowing that you have to be flexible in these situations. At some point, they let Wright essentially drive the bus. We saw that back and forth, right? That kind of tennis match situation here. But he was talking back right to the time that the male officer left the room. There was no giving up at any point. I think being flexible in your tactic, again, leaving the room, having a conversation, figuring out what your next step is what's most important in this case, and knowing when to pull away and maybe try again.
I often feel through my years of policing and justice work that it's sad when you see someone with a potential of a very strong personality and obviously able to control a situation and do focused work in the total wrong way. And I think this guy is one of those. He could have been probably anything he wanted in society had he have focused.
I mean, let's not simplify if he hadn't have just focused. I think there's a lot, as you know, there are a lot more factors that go into somebody becoming a criminal. No one's born a criminal. And in this case, with it having happened so young, obviously there's a lot of socialization that happens at that time, depending on where you grew up, your family situation, access to drugs, those kinds of things. Those all factor in, those all matter. I think in this case, what we're seeing, though, is that potential squandered, that potential lost. And it's really sad when you see something like that.